My hashtag is on global warming, and 3 hashtag points that I'm going to mention is hashtag Greta Thunberg, hashtag climate change is real, and hashtag climate strike. So the thesis is that carbon dioxide is not able to be seen. This threat is not visible, but is very real. This means that global temperatures go up, extreme weather goes up with incidences like floods, melting ice, rising sea levels, and ocean acidity goes up. So the theory is that unfortunately there's a global warming conspiracy theory which tells us that a group of scientists have a secret plan to do something unlawful. Also, unfortunately, the climate change denial was replaced by political and public controversies. So the political climate is that this slide basically says that many Americans are disappointed that people don't treat the planet on a friendly way. The pronounced number of viewpoints is that Americans have different thinkings on global warming, and that Democratic liberals support the idea of global warming, but Republican conservatives think that global warming is a nonsense idea. So now zooming in on hashtag Greta Thunberg. So when Greta Thunberg came to New York, there were millions of people throughout the world that participated in a climate strike, paying attention to her energy level, identifying the conference. She screeched politicians for depending on young people with regards to climate change, so she is definitely concerned about climate change. Zooming in on hashtag climate change is real, so the planet's average surface temperature increased by approximately 1.62 degrees Fahrenheit, 0.9 degrees Celsius since the late 19th century, and almost all of the warming happened during the previous 35 years. Among the 5 warmest years that were on record since 2010, the year 2016 was not only the warmest year, but 8 of 12 months that make up the year, January through September, especially June, had the warmest temperature on record. Zooming in on hashtag climate strike, so on March 15, 2019, there were many school strikes motivating adults to take control and prevent climate change that happened. There were more than 1 million people that participated in approximately 2,200 events throughout the world across 125 countries. So symbolic policies basically mention that people are being exposed to fossil fuels, and fossil fuels contribute to the increase in temperatures. Each of these video clips explain on their own way what the causes of global warming can be and are.
For 2.5 million years, the Earth's climate has fluctuated, cycling from ice ages to warmer periods. But in the last century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast, about 1.2 to 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists believe it's human activity that's driving the temperatures up, a process known as global warming. Ever since the Industrial Revolution began, factories, power plants, and eventually cars have burned fossil fuels such as oil and coal, releasing huge amounts of carbon dioxide and other gases into the atmosphere. These greenhouse gases trap heat near the Earth through a naturally occurring process called the greenhouse effect. The greenhouse effect begins with the sun and the energy it radiates to the Earth. The Earth and the atmosphere absorb some of this energy, while the rest is radiated back into space. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. Scientists now believe that the greenhouse effect is being intensified by the extra greenhouse gases that humans have released. Evidence for global warming includes a recent string of very warm years. Scientists report that 1998 was the warmest year in measured history, with 2005 coming in second. Meanwhile, readings taken from ice cores show that the greenhouse gases carbon dioxide and methane have hit their highest levels in the past 420,000 years. Arctic sea ice is also shrinking. According to NASA studies, the extent of Arctic sea ice has declined about 10% in the last 30 years. As long as industrialized nations consume energy and developing countries increase their fossil fuel consumption, the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere will continue to rise. Researchers predict that temperatures will increase about 2 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit by the end of the century. What's less certain is what rising temperatures mean for the planet.
Human activities, from pollution to overpopulation, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution. The rapid increase in greenhouse gases in the atmosphere has warmed the planet at an alarming rate. While Earth's climate has fluctuated in the past, atmospheric carbon dioxide hasn't reached today's levels in hundreds of thousands of years. Climate change has consequences for our oceans, our weather, our food sources, and our health. Ice sheets, such as Greenland and Antarctica, are melting. The extra water that was once held in glaciers causes sea levels to rise and spills out of the oceans, flooding coastal regions. Warmer temperatures also make weather more extreme. This means not only more intense major storms, floods, and heavy snowfall, but also longer and more frequent droughts. These changes in weather pose challenges. Growing crops becomes more difficult. The areas where plants and animals can live shift, and water supplies are diminished. In addition to creating new agricultural challenges, climate change can directly affect people's physical health.
So here I have some social media posts. So the first media post is important because it warns us the temperature in the atmosphere is increasing, and this second social media post shows that Donald Trump does not believe in climate change and does not support the idea of climate change. So the first meme is important because it claims that if something doesn't get done regarding having a cleaner air, that we will be in trouble in the future. And the second meme shows that the polar bear is limited with space on ice or snow and that its life is in danger. So each of these graphs and statistics show that there are multiple gases, and it shows how much each gas is influencing and contributing to the air and causing the air to be warmer than normal, and it's showing how much the air temperature increased over the century. Each of these satires show that polar bears are in trouble because the ice is almost melted. So how does my theory apply? So conflict theory has to do with my theory because Donald Trump wants to be dominant and powerful, and he doesn't want to believe in climate change, and that is the main conflict between Democrats and Republicans. That's basically what this slide is saying. So the global warming summary is that global warming happens when carbon dioxide and other toxins in the air and greenhouse gases gather in the air and use sunlight and solar radiation that has impacted the Earth's surface. Global warming has negative impacts of oceans, weather, food, and health. In the past century, the planet's temperature has risen unusually fast. The natural atmospheric greenhouse is a natural result on Earth that keeps the average surface temperature at approximately 50 degrees Fahrenheit, which is warmer than if there were no air. The concentrations of air of a number of greenhouse gases are going up because of human activities. Dangerously, the speed of rise, such as how quickly the greenhouse gases are gathering in the atmosphere, are increasing. This was a measurable rise. The global average surface temperature at approximately 0.8 degrees Celsius, 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit since 1860. The climate of Earth keeps being different throughout its history due to human influence. This displays global and regional changes. The burning of fossil fuels has increased the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. Naturally occurring gases in the atmosphere trap some of this energy and reflect it back, warming the Earth. And questions that I have for you are: have we ever thought about what you can do to help stop global warming? Have we ever thought about what global warming can lead to us in the future? And have we ever wondered how severe global warming can get? Thank you.